Hello, and welcome to an episode of Todd Talks. When Todd Talks, people listen. Hopefully. Appreciate those who got the Kenny Omega reference. Sephiroth! Today is a very special episode because today I am going to be making predictions for what is going to happen in Death Battle Season 10. Yes, we are on the 10th season of Death Battle this season, or this year. And given how 9 went with the variety of new franchises that we had and the character rivals and returns that we had, it's going to be interesting to see what they do because with the 10th anniversary season, they were like, every episode's going to be like season finale worthy. I'm not sure we got that, but the intent was well meaning. And for the 10th year, uh, or the official 10th season, sorry, the official 10th season, I think they're going to go big, just as big, if not bigger. So what matchups are we actually going to get this season? That is the question, and I have compiled a rather robust list. I think of matches we could get, should get, will get, and requests from you, dear viewer. So let's break this down, shall we? Let's start with a match I'm pretty sure is going to happen. And that's Discord versus Cypher. I know this one's a bit of a stretch because it means Gravity Falls versus my Little Pony. Okay, you know this. I know I'm joking here. This is one of the two poll results. This is a 2D fight that we are going to get. Discord from My Little Pony and Bill Cypher from Gravity Falls. I actually have never watched Gravity Falls, and I very lightly know about Discord from My Little Pony, but I'm sure he was beaten by friendship. Friendship is magic. So that's gonna be an interesting one. Chad seems very happy about this result, and because he likes the idea, this is gonna be a reality warping fight. So this is gonna be one that's gonna be tough to research because it's like, who can warp reality more? They likened it. He likened it to Strange Fate, which is a very good example because that was very much of a battle of who has the greater power in a battle of master magicians. So this is who's the better reality warper, and that is very intriguing for sure. The other guarantee is Cole McGrath versus Alex Mercer. Yes, you're finally getting it. Yes, be happy. Gosh dang you. Uh, I'm not mad about this fight. I mean, this is got to give the people what they want to say, as they say in AEW. And this is what the people wanted. They voted for this, and now they're getting it. So this will be an epic 3D fight. I look forward to seeing what the team do with the special effects because that's gonna be crucial here. Is how they handle the lightning and the what is the alien abilities. So because they can use the prototype. So that's gonna be interesting. Uh, I'm the biggest thing for me is I'm curious when we're gonna get them in this season. Like they said that once they had the votes and they would start working on it, so that would imply that we're probably gonna get maybe one in the first half and one in the second half. It wouldn't be the worst thing ever. So lots of potential there. We'll just have to see how it goes. But those are the ones we absolutely know are going to be in this season. The rest, but a bit up for debate, no, isn't it? Bit up for debate. So my first request or pitch, if you will, is one that was requested or was posted by one of you, and that is Zeus versus Odin. Which you might recall, I commented on the possibility of that in my season recap. So go watch that if you haven't yet. This one's the obvious one because of what happened with Hercules versus Sun Wukong. It is the battle of the All Fathers, the father of the gods. Put your daddy on the phone, maybe Odin can pay me for interest. If you get it, you get it. It's epic rap battles of history. This one's I think will be a really fun matchup because we've seen their powers in comics, right? Especially DC and Marvel. In fact, you can kind of say that DC version has the better Zeus, and then Marvel version has the better Odin, and both of them have like insane universal style powers. I mean, we've heard Zeus cited in the Black Adam, or sorry, the Shazam breakdown, and Odin compared to Thor and everything. So, of course, by the Odin Force, which is multiversal. So, lots of potential there. But again, this will be about the mythology. Who is the better father of the gods? And this would have to. I wouldn't mind them doing this, make this another like scroll style hand drawn one because that was a lot of fun with Herc Sun Wukong. I have no idea who I think would win because I again it's mythology. So I know that Zeus killed Titans, and Odin could only be killed during Ragnarok. But where's the line? You know, like it's all about the details when it comes to mythology. So that would be an interesting one. I know a lot of you have been requesting that as well. So you never know. Sticking with mythology, this one is actually one that's been highly requested and was done on a lot of these are from Death Battle Cast because I really think they're going to take them from Death Battle Cast to the main season, and that is another request from you: Pitt versus Zagreus. Yes, we're doing Kid Icarus versus Hades, and I honestly wouldn't have picked this one originally, but two things: one of you requested it, and two, Hades 2 is coming, and that's going to expand upon what was done in the first game. They're bringing in the Titans like Kronos and all that. So Hades is easily one of the best games of the last like what 5 years, give or take, and it's not even close. All right, I mean it was Game of the Year nominee at the Game Awards among other things, and people just love this game. So if there was a time to do Pitt versus Zagreus, it would be now at the peak. The second game is coming out. Um, I think it could work. And now, according to the Death Battle cast, Pitt stomps, but that hasn't stopped them from doing this before. So, and if nothing else, maybe they'll bring in Zagreus versus someone else. So I don't mind taking a half point. I think I got like half a point last season. I can't remember now. This actually brings us to the Death Battle. I'm pretty sure everyone thinks is going to happen next season, and that is Ant-Man versus the Atom. The reason for this is obvious. Ant-Man Quantumania is coming out to kick off the Phase 5 of Marvel. Do we really want to talk about Phase 4? Uh, I have feelings. And so that one comes out in March, right? March, and that's usually when Death Battle likes to start the seasons outside of that one season where they did 20 episodes. So this is the classic Marvel versus DC matchup. Who's the better shrinker? That sounded weird. Uh, who's the better size alterer? There we go. Size alterer. Uh, yeah, that pretty much is it. It's who has the better suit, who has the better shrinking suit, who can do more. I'm honestly not sure because it would depend on which Ant-Man. Are they going to go with Hank Pym with Pym particles? Are they going to go uh, Scott Lang? It has to be one of those two, obviously. And with Ray, and then with the Atom, it'd probably be Ray Palmer. Even though I who doesn't like Eugene Choi? Gail Simone certainly does. If you know, you know. So it's like the obvious matchup, and they'll bank off of the movie coming out, which is I'll tie that into another matchup we have coming up. But I'm not opposed to it. They have to make it look good. Like they have to go from just fighting to going into like the microverse, which both of them have done in their various universes, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. All right, next up, this was another request from you all. I think I mentioned this one last year, or maybe it was the year before that. Shulk versus Lightning from Final Fantasy. So Xenoblade versus Final Fantasy 13 and 2, and Lightning Returns. Anyway, I don't know why people like this matchup. I think it's like they see the future or whatever, right? I never played Final Fantasy 13, so I'm not above Xenoblade getting in here. I would prefer Rex because of Pyra and Mithra and the uniqueness of that. But I don't know who Rex would go up against. So if you have an idea for Rex from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, please let me know below. All right, here's another request. This one's interesting. This is for the Halloween episode, no doubt. It is Pennywise versus Freddy Krueger. And the tie-in is these are the beings of your nightmares, Whether it be in the waking world or the dream world, this is your nightmare. And I like that idea. They're definitely leaning more into the Halloween episodes recently because we had, Jason versus Freddy, we had the vampires, we had the werewolves. So what can they do this season? And that matchup or something close to it would be the fair one. The nightmares. What haunts your dreams, and especially after they did like the full-on horror movie villains of Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers, it makes sense that they would try to continue that trend. So we'll see where that goes. It's I don't like to disparage, but let's hope it's better than Jason versus Michael. I'm sorry, but with the dreamscapes, This could be fun, and we know that Freddy has a 3D model because he was in Mortal Kombat. Okay, it was Mortal Kombat 9, I believe it was. So we know he has a 3D model, and I'm sure you can find one for Pennywise. So we'll see. All right, next one is a personal request. Like, I made this one up. I am on a Gargoyles binge right now, and I'm like, we haven't had one since Goliath, and the comic just came out, so this will be a perfect time to bring them in, and I asked, hey, who? I asked the Death Battle forum, hey, who would you put against Demona? And the answer that came back is Mystique from X-Men. So I wasn't sure about this matchup at first, and then I realized just how much they have in common. All right, so hear me out. Hear me out. Number one, they're both traitors to their race at one point in time or another. Yes, Mystique is technically on the side of the X-Men with Krakoa, but it's a very loose relationship, and well before then, she was always like dancing between, I'm just an anti-hero, I'm, a villain, and how many times did she help try to, with Magneto or whoever to try and take over the world? Which leads me to the other thing. They are not above genocide. They are perfectly fine with screwing with humanity to benefit themselves or their race. And if that means genocide, then so be it. That's Demona's whole thing, is that she is so angry with humans for what happened to her clan and the betrayals that she feels they did to her, even though she caused a lot of them. Which you can still also say with Mystique, that they all deserve to die. Then there is the fact that they both have an I want to call it an unhealthy relationship with their partner slash lover. Mystique has Destiny, who they have a very loving relationship, but they also have a very complicated relationship. See how in the recent comics, Mystique was literally willing to kill Professor Xavier and Magneto, and she did. She actually set them up to die. But remember, they got back because they could resurrect now. She killed them so that she could get Destiny back and then expose their secret to the rest of the council. And one time she actually was told by Destiny to revive Wolverine because it was the world needed him, and she refused. She denied it because if she couldn't have Destiny, why should Wolverine live? So, yeah, bit of a tricky thing. And then there's Demona, who loved Goliath, tried to kill Goliath, uh, didn't realize she had a daughter with Goliath, and then went with his clone, Thalog. Yeah, she fell in love with his clone, which is not creepy at all. Looking at you, Scott Summers. I say you're a fan, but you know what I'm talking about. And then the other thing is that they're technically both immortal. And that's actually where the problem comes in, because Demona can only be killed by one person, and that's Macbeth. So I love this matchup, but it's a stomp for Demona because she can't die unless it's by Macbeth's hands. So I still want the matchup though, even though it's a stomp, but because I think it's just really fun. Oh yeah, and they're both shapeshifters. Demona can turn to a human in the day, and Mystique can change into anyone she wants. And of course, they both got blue skin and red hair. See, fun matchup. All right, next up. Okay, these next two are gonna hurt. All right, these next two are gonna hurt. Why? If you recall, the matchup. There are two matchups that I want more than anything in a death battle. One of them I'll mention later on. I just mention it here. It's Hippolyta and 5 Amazons versus Okoye and 4 Dora. Sorry, 4 Amazons and Okoye versus 4 Dora Milaje. I think I mentioned this last time. I have a teaser trailer that I will eventually upload to YouTube, and I think that's a fun live action matchup. I don't know. I doubt they'll do it, but you never know. But the other one was, of course, Sly Cooper versus Rocket Raccoon. And I had my reasons for thinking why this matchup would be fun to have. Then, one day on the Death Battle Discord, I got into a chat with some people about this, and we just okay, what can Sly do to beat Rocket? And my biggest thing was I knew about the time stop that he had, thanks to Thieves in Time. I found a GIF about the time stop, because I never played the 4th game, so I only knew what the wiki told me. The time stop is not actually a time stop. It's actually a time slow, and it's about 1/4 regular time. And Rocket likely is fast enough that a time slowing would not directly affect him. And then it's still a question of, can you kill him? If it was a time stop, I think I could have an argument. With time slow, not sure that's the case. So I'm going to reluctantly step away from Sly versus Rocket and instead suggest Rocket Raccoon versus Stitch, which is another Death Battle cast episode. Um, the ties here are obvious: genetic creations, ultimate weapons, and lots of weapons, lots and lots of weapons. So with Rocket Raccoon being more or less a focal point for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, this would make sense for Death Battle to do. And I love Stitch. Stitch special. So yeah, that's my request to voice Stitch in Death Battle. Cause Ohana means family. Family means no one gets left behind. See, I can do it. So yeah, I'm fine with this matchup. I think it'd be a fun one. I hope Stitch wins. Because if I can't have Sly kill Rocket, then someone's got to kill Rocket. The other one is one I know a lot of you have suggested, including on the Death Battle ballot that we had. Lupin third versus Sly Cooper. Yes, the thief fight. Okay. I prefer this over Sly versus Rouge. I don't like Sly versus Rouge. I never liked that matchup. I think that's just ugh. But Lupin versus Sly, sure. I'll relent to that. And if you recall the fireside chat that we had, that was what won the poll because my suggestion actually got mentioned, and they said like, oh, well, what are the other matchups? And it was Lupin and Rouge, and so they put up to a vote, and Lupin won. So if that's what it takes to get Sly Cooper in Death Battle, fine, be that way. All right, next up, another Death Battle cast matchup, which one just happened kind of recently. Kylo Ren versus Edelgard. I'm doing this partially because I want Fire Emblem and Death Battle. I am tired of Fire Emblem not being in Death Battle. They keep saying that Fire Emblem is going to eventually be in Death Battle, and it hasn't happened yet. So, and I know why. It's partially because of the game mechanics and the fact that they don't rely on cutscenes as much as anything else. But with Edelgard, it's a different story, and they have the stats to back it up. And they've actually made a compelling case recently for why she could handle the Force in Kylo Ren. And I think that the guys were intrigued enough to say, you know what, why don't we do this? And you say, well, wait a minute, this was a recent Death Battle cast. That's a little too late. They constantly shuffle their schedule. They've said themselves that they have pushed matchups that they were sure they're going to do one season to the next one just to make sure that they had the time or ability to get it done. So with 3 houses and 3 hopes out, that's plenty of Edelgard material to deal with. And Kylo Ren's, of course, got the movies and the book and the comics and such. So they've got enough to deal with there. I think they're going to do it. And if not, I've got a couple backups. The obvious one is Dimitri versus Guts, which was on last year's prediction video. Didn't happen, and they're threatening with Guts versus Claire, which is another Death Battle cast. So I'm worried because I'm like, come on. Yeah. So hopefully that's a Fire Emblem matchup they'll do. Let's see. Next up, this is another Death Battle cast. See the pattern here? Do you see the pattern here? This one I'm doing because Ben really seemed interested in it. Kyogre versus Chaos, Battle of the Water Gods. I'm fine with this one because if you think about it, they haven't had a legendary Pokemon in Death Battle since Mewtwo. Remember, the last Pokemon battle we had was Goro versus Machamp. Before that was Renamon, Lucario, then Pokemon Digimon, and right before that was Shadow Mewtwo. Or sorry, Agumon versus Charizard, and then Shadow versus Mewtwo. So they actually haven't had a legendary in quite some time, and this one seemed interesting from like a power standpoint because like, you know, which version of Chaos do you use, and just how great are their powers compared to one another. And they have enough material for Kyogre, and especially with Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. What is it? Omega Ruby Alpha whatever. Yeah, it was Omos. Omega Oros. That was it. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. So they've got enough material for Kyogre. I think they could do that, and if they could do this as a 3D fight, like dang, that would be fun. So we'll see. All right, this one was one for the Death Battle ballot, and I really liked it. Lucina versus Ciri from The Witcher, which would be another epic fight because of two brand new franchises coming to Death Battle, because we haven't had The Witcher yet. Oh yeah, and Geralt, I'm just going to put him out there. I think Geralt could totally show up. It's time. Why not? Why Lucina, though, versus Ciri? Because they're a Destiny's Child. All right, they are the children of destiny. You know, they're trying to prevent the end of the world and whatnot, and they were trained to. It's they have a lot of ties. All right, they have magic. They have battle incredible monsters, and they have unique connections to their fathers. So, yes, I know Crom is actually Lucina's father. I'm just saying in general. Um, they have a lot going for them, and I think just be a fun fight. Let the ladies battle it out. I'm all for it. All right, this one I've seen requested so many times, and I'm not sure why, but recent events could make this a fun matchup. It is Martian Manhunter versus Piccolo. It's the Green Aliens. Aliens. Uh, I mean, it's not the worst matchup ever. It's not the worst matchup ever. I do think it's a bit odd. Because remember, Martian Manhunter is good enough to go up against Superman and Wonder Woman, and he's in the Justice League for a reason. Piccolo's awesome. Who doesn't love Piccolo? And this matchup probably wouldn't even have been close if it wasn't for Orange Piccolo, or Piccolo Orange, or however he says his name. But I mean, it's just. I grant you that Martian Manhunter and Piccolo probably don't have a lot of great options for matchups, but it's still odd. It's really odd. I mean, if you remember the Death Battle cast, they did Piccolo versus Magus, which is really odd. I mean, Magus is a full-blown sorcerer, so at least with Martian Manhunter, they have non-magical things to deal with. But whatever, could be fun, sure. And if we're being honest, this might be the only Dragon Ball matchup we could get this year, which I'm fine with because last season had 3 Dragon Ball fights. Uno, dos, tres. All right, Vegeta, Trunks, and then the fusion fight. So let's give Dragon Ball a break, okay? All right, this one I definitely think is going to happen because of the talk on the Death Battle cast. It is Gojo for Jujutsu Kaisen, sorry, and Makima from Chainsaw Man. This one fits perfectly because of Chainsaw Man's recent anime. It was a big hit. A lot of people like Makima now. People also like Power, obviously, but Makima's the big one, and she's obviously the big powerhouse. And Gojo for Jujutsu Kaisen, or however you say the name, I haven't watched it if you can't tell, is, everyone's love on the internet. Who doesn't love Gojo? I've never seen it, so I don't. But you never know. So this will be interesting, again, bringing in new animes, franchises into Death Battle, and it's the question of, do the curses and Makima's contracts and abilities overwhelm one another? That is the question, and they weren't really able to come up with an answer on the Death Battle cast, which is why I'm thinking they're gonna consider it. And again, the timing is perfect. Jujutsu Kaisen is very popular. Again, Chainsaw Man just had its anime come out for the first season. Its second season's already guaranteed or whatever. So this is, again, timing is everything for some of these Death Battles, and this is a good timing. All right, this is my next pick. I want to go straight for the season finale pick. It's Galactus Unicron. They have to do it. They have to do it. They have to. Okay. Do I want them to do it? Yes. Would I be mad if they didn't do it? Yes. Have they been teasing this forever? Yes. So why not, for the 10th season, give us the season finale we've been waiting for? Now, they've done a lot of great surprises in the season finales the last few years. They did Hulk Broly and Popeye, One Punch Man, Saitama, and then, of course, the fusion fight. Now you got to give the people what they want. And I mean, really give the people what they want, all right? Give us Galactus Unicron. Let's end this madness once and for all. I mean, we're getting Cole Alex. I mean, that's one you kind of want to get over with in certain ways. This is the other. Let's get Galactus Unicron. Make it happen. And then finally, and this is one I saw this on the Death Battle ballot, and Brandon Yates did a song on this, and that's Shepard versus Master Chief. Humanity's last hope. Let's do this. I want this, and I want this in 3D, which we have not had with Halo, not including DBX, and our Master Chief. And let's get them involved. Let's just have. Could you imagine they just went like full tilt on this? Maybe even do this like in Source Engine. Get Devil Artemis on it. Just imagine them, on a battlefield, going 1-on-1, using all their weapons, using all their powers, and just seeing who is the better soldier to save humanity. It writes itself. So that's it. That's the list. Uh, I don't know how many are actually going to be produced. I think I got one last year with Black Adam Apocalypse. I think that there's a lot of potential here in these lists and with suggestions you've made, and there are others that I think they could do. But if I even get one, I'll be happy. But my biggest hope for season 10 of Death Battle is just have fun, more unique matchups, even more unique matchups, I should say, because season 9 had plenty. And then bring me a freaking Fire Emblem character in here, okay? Yeah. So I'm hopeful, and we'll just have to see where it goes. Now, at present, time of this recording, we do not know when Death Battle Season 10 is going to air. Due to that, this will be my last episode of Todd Talk for a while, and I will miss you all, but thank you for watching me and listening to me ramble and go all the time, and enjoying all the phases of my hair, whether it be wet or dry or somewhere in between. Let me know your predictions if you still have time to make some if you want. But let's just all wait patiently for Death Battle Season 10 to arrive. Let's have a lot of fun when it arrives. And let's just keep showing our support for the show because we all love it. We all want to be a part of it, and we are. But let's support the guys, support the animation team, support the voice actors, everyone who's involved, because this is a really fun show, and we do adore it. So, and with that, it's episode of Todd Talk. So, thank you for watching. It means far I know you were listening, and I'll see you around.